Mind yourself.
The happy nerd Derek Alexander made a comment of interest about Awesome Possum kicks Dr. Machino's butt for the Sega Genesis. I'm a huge fan of the happy nerd, so I quickly got up to make this video. All I can say is, how come you couldn't have asked us what pizza tastes like, or maybe what we thought of the movie The Street Fighter, or perhaps how many teddy bears we own? But, to answer your question about this game, Awesome Possum Kicks Dr. Machino's Butt is a very close clone of Sonic the Hedgehog, with the ability to attack the monsters removed, along with your dignity. Basically, the idea is to force the Greenpeace message down the throats of young gamers. Now, I'm for edutainment. If kids are playing video games, by all means, use them to teach, but edutainment isn't edutainment if it doesn't entertain. It's like if I were going to the hardware store to buy a hammer, and I asked the clerk, "Do you sell hammers?" And the clerk looks at me and says, "Yes, well, we have this wonderful cow." And I look at the cow and say, well, that's a nice cow. Then the clerk responds with, "Oh, of course it is. This is the beauty of a cow." So I buy the cow and take it home, and suddenly it hits me. I wanted a hammer. How did that slippery clerk pass this cow off as a hammer? Well, thankfully no one who bought Sega games at the time made that mistake. They knew that hammers are for driving nails and cows are meant for eating and tipping, so they left this game alone, and it figures why I've never heard of it. But speaking of this game, let's take a look at the game itself. So I kind of figured this game was going to be bad, but this is a special category of bad. This is in the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde unfinished game should not have been released bad. And what's worse, this came from Tengen. Whatever you think about Tengen, they brought us Gauntlet during the 8-bit era. Someone in that company should have been responsible enough to put a stop to this. I did a little research hoping to come up with an answer as to why this game was made. I kept thinking, okay, there's going to be some kind of catch. Like maybe Tengen was contractually obligated to put out an edutainment game, and this only had to please a board of trustees before being carelessly released like a venom into the game industry, no matter how many dolphins it killed. But I found nothing. Wikipedia was no help, and most of the sites that feature game reviews didn't have one for this game. It should be noted that the reviews available on GameFAQs were particularly brutal, probably because the game is less fun than being pelted with soda cans. It was painful playing this game. I could barely stand to gather up the footage you see in this video. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I give this game the sisterhood of the traveling pants. This is Critical Failure with Tiger Claw TV, signing off.